And I want to introduce you to one friend and partner that is truly doing consequential things in AI. Tim O'Connor, SVP of Integrated AI Marketing, Engineering, and Analytics at Xtelligence Learning Corp. Tim, join me on the stage. Welcome. Welcome. See you, buddy. It's great to see you. It's great to see you, Tim. Tim, welcome to Edge. I'm fired up that you're here. First of all, I think you have the coolest title in the world. That is the coolest title. Tell us a little bit about Xtelligence.
Well, thank you, Raj, and hello, everybody in New York and the tens of thousands of you who are watching live online right now. Xtelligence is grateful that we're able to serve the over 2 million really heroic teachers in the United States that work with young learners. There's 33 million of them around the United States in daycare centers and elementary schools. And what we do to be of service to them is we provide a range of classroom solutions. Those might be anywhere from hands-on learning through digital resources, and we do that through a variety of our brands, including our flagship brand, which is Discount School Supply, and we're proud to say that for the last 5 years, Newsweek has ranked it the #1 e-store in early education, and I got to say, Raj, that Bloomreach has played a really big part in making that happen, so thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for the great work that you do for education, for our teachers. It's been an incredible partnership. And let's talk through the last couple of years of AI at Xtelligence. What has that journey looked like for you?
Well, it's been transformative, and I'd like to make 2 points about that. The first is, I think a lot of people think about AI more so as something that can help in the area of productivity and back of the office operational efficiency, and there's a lot of value there. But well before GPT came out, we looked at AI in a little bit different framework. We looked at it from a standpoint of, then we just called about what we could do to transform the customer experience. Now we're talking about really consequential customer experiences. And that shift to think about it that way in terms of how we could add value to the customer became very pivotal for us, and we're really pleased with the results that we're seeing. Now, the second thing I would point out is actually it's a humbling learning. So probably like a lot of you, you have all these disparate tech systems out there, you have different data systems, and we attempted to try to put them all together. You call that interoperability. So how you can take all these different tech stack operation or applications and all their data, and how can you get them to work together? Well, the humbling part is after a whole lot of work by a lot of really smart people, we ended with 3 things. The first thing is it's super hard to do. The second thing is no matter what you do, it's probably going to be a lot less than what you thought you were going to get out of it in the beginning. And the third thing is that it's really difficult to sustain it. And so it was about a year ago that I got to hear Raj talk on the Edge Summit stage in California. And when he shared his unified vision of AI and data, I literally grabbed him after his talk. I can still see myself in the meeting room. He was a little bit, what? And, but I told him, I said, look, Raj, I really buy into this vision of what you have, and we want to do it, and we want to do it fast. So I don't know if you remember that.
Well, I do remember that, and I'm glad you cornered me and fired up that we were able to use AI to stitch together all of these disparate systems and deliver on your vision of personalization. And so when you think about where we are today in that journey, what's an area that you're applying consequential AI right now?
Sure, I'd love to share that. Probably like a lot of you, you have various degrees of personalization. Like we have personalization that is powered by Bloomreach, and we're very happy with that. And for many customers, when they come to the website, there's a happy path that personalization can create. It can take them from starting to search for things and ultimately getting them to the shopping cart, and they're very happy. And there's a lot of value from that, and we're thrilled with that. But there are also situations where a customer has a more complex need. So I'll use an example from my company. So suppose you're a 3rd grade teacher, and you're looking for literacy solutions because you have a large amount of English language learners in your classroom, and you're trying to help those children. That's actually a lot more complex problem to solve because at our company, we have over 300 solutions and kits just for a 3rd grader in literacy learning. So how do you figure that out? it's not a very simple tree structure that you can have. It's more of a organic type of a search example. So what happens is that the teacher will reach out to a salesperson, an expert salesperson, who will then try to guide that customer to their particular need. They're going to talk to them, they're going to learn about their needs, and they're going to use all of that information to help guide them to a particular solution. Well, that's wonderful when that happens, but it's not always practical for the customer or convenient. Imagine it's 10 o'clock at night in San Francisco. How does a teacher, and by the way, they are working at 10 o'clock at night on their own to help our young children. We really need to thank these people. They're heroes. And so what happens with consequential AI is that it's having that expert salesperson sitting right next to the customer at 10 o'clock at night and helping them to guide them to a particular solution. That's real value. And by the way, we're doing this. This is not theory. We're doing this today. And that adds real value to the customer, and it adds real value to our company. And so we're thrilled with that ability to have that expert salesperson in the form of consequential AI.
It's fascinating because a year ago, when we were launching Clarity, the idea of Clarity was that it would solve exactly these kind of complex need problems. Could we take your best salesperson, your best store associate, and put them in a digital agent that could interact directly with a customer and offer the kind of experience that heretofore has not been possible in most online systems? And you've been kind of an early adopter of Clarity. So tell us a little bit more about what you see from this kind of conversational AI system.
Sure, I really like that term consequential AI because it has to deliver consequential value. And if you think really the moment of truth is you have to be able to see it in the numbers. And what that be? What would those numbers be? They might be things like higher sales, AOV, conversion rates. That's showing consequential value because it comes into the numbers. And if it doesn't show up in the numbers, then it's noise. And therefore, any of the other metrics you might think about, who cares about those? They're not meaningful. And while I can't share the actual details, obviously publicly, of the numbers that we're getting out of this, but I can tell you this. We've put all the normal marketing tests against it, A/B test, holdout test, and other things. And we're actually delighted with what we see. We're seeing consequential value to our company because we're seeing consequential value to the customer.
That's awesome. Love hearing that, Tim. Now, tell us, I think all of us with experimentation in AI, we're learning new things every day. So what have you learned? What has been most surprising to you about this AI journey, about conversational, as you've embarked on it with us?
You know, when I heard Baratunde earlier, and by the way, I was not in London, I didn't hear his talk, I didn't see this interview with him and Arianna Huffington, and they talked about this notion of, will AI make us less human? So I want to share something that's personal, some things that I learned on this one. Because I spend maybe way too much time up here and not enough time here. That's where us being human is. And I think if we first think about AI, it's a tool. It's not the rule. It's not the ruler. We are still the humans in charge of using and applying this amazing technology. And so what I want to share personally is that as we've applied Clarity and as we've learned about things about our customers, we've actually learned things about our customers that we didn't know about before. We've uncovered needs that they had, and they weren't even on our radar. And when you start to really understand your customer, and by the way, we were able to actually already apply some of that learning to create some changes that we did, and they're substantial. But when you start to learn about the customer, about what they're really facing, and Clarity's giving you that information, what happens is you have the opportunity to be more empathetic. And as Ariel Huffington mentioned, or that computer was saying, I forget what Baratunde's computer was called, but empathy is a human, if you will, trait. And so me personally, when I've looked at that and read these transcripts, my heart started to open up because I'm saying, wow, I have no idea that these are some of the things that they're facing. And I think in my case, in my company's case, AI is helping us to actually understand our customers more. And if we really listen, that allows us to be more empathetic. And when we are more empathetic, I think we're more human.
That is an incredible story and really challenges the notion of what AI is. These kinds of examples of using AI to listen deeply to the customer, to build more connection with them, to foster empathy, and ultimately make us more human, that is an incredible, incredible story. And one last question. Any advice? What advice do you have for this esteemed group as they go down this journey of seeking consequential AI?
Sure, a couple of things, and this is just my experience. But I would say this: experiment relentlessly. This is going fast. It's going faster than I think any of us ever expected. And when you test relentlessly, what's going to happen is some things are going to succeed and some things aren't, and that's okay. But all that testing, you start to build muscle. And I think it's really important for all of you here as marketing leaders and all of you watching online. You've got to build the muscle here. You have to personally know how these things work. You have to personally experience it so that you can lead your teams. We are leaders of marketing. We have to lead our teams to use this responsibly, to use this to create consequential value. Because if you don't learn this, if you don't really apply it and you don't learn how to create consequential value for your customers, then you run the risk of being leapfrogged by your competitors who may be in the room, may be online. And on a personal level, if you don't become an AI marketing expert, then you run the risk of a new CMO who knows those skills leapfrogging you. But I'll tell you this, I bet on all of you, and I bet on all of you that are watching, because you're here. You're spending time to learn this stuff. You're spending time to learn from each other. And I think that's the last thing I want to mention, is that there's this phrase that none of us are as smart as all of us. And I think that's very true. Now, while I'm really appreciative, and I hope that whatever I've shared has been of help to you all, what I'm looking forward to is to learn from you all and hear more about how you're using AI to create consequential value for your companies, because you're creating consequential value for your customers. So let's have a great day today. Let's learn from each other. And again, Raj, thank you very much for everything you're doing for us.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the Edge stage. Another round of applause for Tim O'Connor.